Hello, all. You know, it's that time of year again. December 31st, this year, 2025. It is 10:15, and I'm going to dub this the Happy New Year review because it can only go up from here. So, anyways, you might be wondering why I look so peaked right now. Well, on Sunday, when I was driving home from work, I stopped by the supermarket and I was driving back home and I was, swerving to avoid some garbage on the road, and while doing so, I hit a pothole. And it was like one of the worst potholes I ever hit before. And I kept on driving along until, I hit like stoplight and I pressed my brakes, and then I realized my brakes go all the way to the floor and realize, hey, my brakes aren't working. So, anyways, after flying through the red and nearly slamming into a truck, I go and pull on the e-brake, and I pause to go and catch myself, and I realize that pothole did something to my car, you know. Um, but I was less than half a mile of the way home, and so I called my coworker who knows a lot about cars, and he basically instructed me on how to ride the e-brake all the way home because I didn't want to go and deal with being on the side of a busy street, blocking, well, it wouldn't even be on the side. There's no shoulder there, so I'd be literally blocking a very busy street. Not at that hour of night, but literally I would have to go and tow. And I didn't want to go and tow literally, a quarter mile or something like that. It's $200 for a quarter mile. So very slowly and carefully, I rode the e-brake home. And then when, daylight came the next morning, I went out to inspect, you know, my rear driver's side brake just completely shattered. The wheel is at an angle and, brake fluid all over the place. And I realize I am well and truly up shit creek without a paddle. So I look like this because I've been walking to and from work. I've been walking to and from the grocery store and whatnot. And the walk to and from work is about 45 minutes one way. Slightly less coming back from work because it's mostly downhill from there. It's quite a grade walking to work, that's for sure. But even though it's Hawaii and it's cool right now, it's still, you know, it's still 70 degrees, and power walking that is not fun because I'm walking at a pretty fast clip because I want to get it done as fast as possible. But yeah, um, I've more or less decided what my options are, but you guys will see it when you see it. Um, because I don't know if it's going to play out the way I want it to. Goodness knows what I've been trying to do so far hasn't worked at all, but I cannot live like this. So, without much further ado, let's go and open one of the last 6 bottles of our special ale from Anchor Brewing Company. It's been 3 years. They still have not restarted. It's looking ever more unlikely that they will restart in the same brewery or in the same way. But yeah, let's go and see if this is even drinkable because, it's only 7.0. So that means it's not actually all that robust for aging. But I'm not seeing any chunks here, which is good. And carbonation, well, yeah. Oh no, there's some chunks. Yeah, you can't see it. It's cloudy, some small chunks, but not big floaters. No chunks in the head. Still smells fairly appetizing. I mean, kind of got a woodsy, piney, almost eucalyptus-like note to it. Carob, herbaceousness, yeah. I'd say after 3 years, it's holding up pretty nice. Well, bouquet-wise, we'll see as soon as it hits the palate. The real proof in the pudding there. Pretty quiet this New Year's, if you've noticed, huh? Last New Year's, it was a very, very noisy one. There's a reason why it's fairly quiet right now. Oh, look at that head. There's some great head retention for something that's 3 years old. Okay, onto the palate now. Not bad. I mean, not great either. It's drinkable. It's not drain pour territory. So a slight off note is starting to form in the finish. Oddly enough, there's still some hot bitterness remaining. They're just hanging on by a ghost. And I think most of the bitterness is actually from the dark malts. Taste overall is pretty faded at this point, but not completely gone. It's kind of impressive how well it's holding up so far. You know, I'm guessing next year is going to be like the turning point. From my experience with the Bigfoot, after about the fourth year, it really started dipping precipitously. And you can go and see that Bigfoot vertical. I did it several years back. God, I have so many reviews now. It's like, I don't want to go and dig through them. But yeah, there was some serious decline after the fourth year. So I'm guessing that this one's going to ghost out pretty soon. Yeah, definitely an off note in that finish. Not, it's not obscenely bad. It's just like a kind of musty sourness. Um, Up front, yeah, kind of carob, bittersweet chocolate flavors, much reduced from the peak. You know, I just remember how intensely this used to taste. Roastiness from the malts still holding on pretty well, mostly showing up there in the mids and through into the finish. But yeah, what can I say? I don't know. I'd have to say this year was going better than many years have gone for me up until, you know, the very tail end of it. Um, I guess I'm kind of lucky in that I do have some options. I'm totally not up shit creek without a paddle, even though I kind of called this review that. Well, this is not really a review. This is more like a year-end retrospective. Year-end retrospective for Anchor. No news. Year-end retrospective for the beer industry. Things are not going well, generally speaking. I mean, yeah, there's been a couple breweries that closed in Hawaii, but there's been more that's actually opened up. And I think that's mainly because, Hawaii is always a little bit behind the curve with the rest of the nation. And Hawaii never really achieved like a saturation point regarding beers, craft brewing. I'm drinking this quickly because one, I'm thirsty. I just walked 45 minutes. Um, and two, I have a feeling that once this warms up a little bit, it's going to, those off notes, it's only warming up a little bit now, and those off notes feel like they're expanding a bit. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like alcohol industry in general is contracting, and um, the beer industry, most of all, is contracting the most here in the United States. The younger generation, they don't drink, and they don't have, a strong desire to drink, which is really interesting because I'm seeing much more of a resurgence in cigarette smoking of all things amongst like 20 somethings. Um, why? I don't know. I mean, I'm a smoker myself, but cigarettes generally don't have much of an appeal to me. I mean, sure, if they brought back like Nat Sherman's or like those pre ultra high premium cigarette brands, yeah, I might indulge in one every now and then. But um, for what exists now, I have no desire to smoke. I smoke a pipe. If I had money to spare, I would smoke cigars like I did in the past. But cigars are pretty much, past my price point at this point in my life. I mean, I enjoy like a small cigarillo every now and then, because those are still like only a couple bucks. But I like premium tobacco. I like my tobacco like I like my alcohol. I like it premium. So I'm not going to go and smoke cheap crap. But yeah, I'm digressing. Kids nowadays, they're going back to cigarettes, but they're not touching the booze. Um, it's all very odd to me. Um, if you ask me to explain it, it's like I have no clue. The younger generation is, as a man who is rapidly approaching 50, the younger gen and has no children of his own, by the way. The younger generation is a very alien thing to me. I only see and interact them through my work. And from what I can tell you, most college age kids generally, if they don't regard me as basically part of the background scenery of where they are, I'm an annoyance at best and an entertaining, well, an annoyance at worst and an entertaining eccentric at best. An entertaining eccentric employee at best. But for most of them, I don't even register as existing. And I don't really interact with them unless work calls for it. Um, I generally regard older people who try to be more than just like um, functionally and casually social with younger generations as older people who try to be I'm with it, I'm cool. I just find that so, as the kids say nowadays, cringe. It is unbearably cringe. So it's, I don't really talk to them. I observe, because I'm kind of interested in changes in the culture and everything. But yeah, it's not really my place or interest to like go in depth with them, have a deep conversation. So, what are today's youth truly interested in? You guys worried about that AI and that AI slop? You know, I've embraced my old age. I didn't expect my life to be as marginal and as impoverished as it is now, but I am kind of at the age that it was like I've always sort of been mentally. I've always been sort of. My grandmother's nickname for me as a child was Grandpa Gomes. So I've always been curmudgeonly, and now I'm at an age where being curmudgeonly doesn't seem all that off. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a sad thing because I feel like I wasted a lot of my youth. You're not supposed to be cynical and detached when you're in your teens and 20s. You're supposed to be passionate about things. And I think it would have been a lot better if I had been passionate about things during that time. Well, besides getting my graduate degree anyway, passionate about things. It feels like I'm more passionate about certain things now than I am when I was young. In that I'm less likely to put something aside and say this is stupid or this is a waste of time. I feel like I have more patience and tolerance now in my old age as in my dotage, you know, even as it becomes harder and more difficult for me to learn new skills and have the energy for things. It's like, where was all of this desire to, learn music, to be open, to be more open-minded when I was younger? And it's kind of funny that and I'm still pretty curmudgeonly. Don't get that wrong. I'm still kind of curmudgeonly asshole. It's just that I don't have as much of I don't have as much of a stick in my ass about it. I guess I guess I've just kind of come to accept things. This is what it is. What it is, and I just have to enjoy the things that make it well. My guitar, beer, books. Speaking of, I need to get glasses. Books are becoming harder. It's becoming harder for me to enjoy my hobby of reading as my eyesight declines. Ooh, yeah. It's not drain pourable yet, but yeah, that off note is expanding now to the mids all the way to the front. So and this is hitting me like a Mack truck because, like I said, I did a long walk. I was thirsty, and I haven't eaten anything. I plan on eating something later. I usually don't eat like a meal after I come back from work, but hey, it's New Year's Eve. I'm going to celebrate the New Year's by having a meal. I mean, need something to go and kind of deal with this alcohol I'm putting into me. You know what I mean? This is like the quietest New Year I've ever heard. I hear nothing. Granted, I'm in kind of a retiree neighborhood, so nobody's going to be popping off fireworks for hours on end, but it's quiet. And I said I would explain the reason for that. Reason for that being, um, last New Year's, not in this neighborhood, but another part of the island. Well, there you go. There you go. I go and say it, and then, yeah, one of the aerials goes off. But last New Year's, there was an accident in which firework, a family party was setting off fireworks in their garage, and one went inside. It actually they were setting up one, and it tipped over, and it shot inside to the garage where they were having the party. And on the back table, they had, you know, maybe a couple 100 pounds of fireworks, and they basically went off all at once. And I can't remember if it was between 3 to 5 fatalities, and you know dozens of injuries. But yeah, basically, it that tragedy motivated the state to actually start in because we've always had fireworks laws, but it actually motivated them to actually start enforcing them for once, um, because they don't enforce a lot of laws in this state. Uh, I like to say about Honolulu, the city I live in, as you probably noticed, you're probably wondering what kind of pothole is so bad it'll just absolutely destroy a car. Most places it'll be like, oh, you dented your wheel. Oh, you popped your tire because you hit a pothole. No, oh, you hit a pothole so badly that it just basically ripped the wheel off the bearing and just exploded your brake. Where do you live, bro? I like to, probably because I got most of this beer into me at this point. It's like Honolulu is basically, you get Manila quality at Santa Monica prices. So you're paying like primo Southern California prices for basically really shitty infrastructure, really shitty governance, um, the whole deal. I like to go and joke sometimes that Hawaii is a real melting pot. These people came from all across Europe, the Americas, the Pacific Rim, and they all came together. Japanese, Filipino, Americans, Europeans, and they lost all the best aspects of their culture, but kept all the worst. So yeah, things are kind of, you know. So like, take for example, there's a large Japanese population in Hawaii. It's like they lost the work ethic and you know efficiency and pride in community, but kept the xenophobia and clannishness. Closed off and in um, you know, the honne tatamai thing. But they lost the entire like you know having pride in community and job and everything. Hawaiians, my people, yeah. Um, we kept the impecuniousness with money. We've kept the impulsivity, but we've lost touch with the land. Well, most of us have. Some people are still really trying to keep it together. I don't know. This is going way south. I think my mood is not probably not the best right now, and maybe this video is going all over the place. But hey, it's a year-end sort of kind of reflection, review, ramble, because I do this kind of I do this shiznit in the way, and I'm going to put on a description that like my beer review folks that they kind of just skip this over. And I'm also going to put, because I should just wrap this up right now. I don't know when I'm going to be back. I always say I'm going to take an extended dry January. I always end up drinking like by like the 1st of February, 2nd of February. But I am really, really getting serious about my guitar right now. I've been doing fingerstyle for a bit under 2 weeks, and I am nowhere near like even making a video about it yet. You know, um, but I just really want to focus on that. Because it's it's a real hump. It's so funny. I've been taking lessons now for about a year and a half now. And granted, because I have like some musical background experience, mostly self-taught from the past. If you go back to the beginning of this channel, you might realize I used to play ukulele, and I had like a whole bunch of weird synthesizers and stuff like that. But I basically never got beyond like a beginner's level for basically anything. Um, and that was because I really needed the structure and sort of um, pedagogic approach to the material, and as well as paying for lessons. 50%. So lessons have been really useful for me. 50% of it has been like, do this, do this, do this, and that has paid in benefits. That I wouldn't have like been doing these things in self-teaching myself. And the other 50% is like, well, I put this money down on the table. I can't just be like, fuck it, this is too hard. Fuck it, this is a waste of time. And excuse my language, but you know what? 7.0 on an empty stomach. Fuck it. I don't want to do this anymore. Which is why I ended up doing such a wide variety of things: harmonica, ukulele, synthesizers, mouth harp. Did I even make a video with the mouth harp thing? That thing is so cool yet so easy, but you don't really do music with it. It's just kind of like a fun. It's more than a toy because you can do some really cool effects on it. But I've never figured out a way to go and like work it into a song. You know that thing like jaw harp, mouth harp, whatever you want to call it. It was probably the thing I did best after the ukulele. But suffice to say, um, yeah, I had some musical background, so I kind of like am not moving as slowly as I expected with the guitar, but you know, I'm starting to gain some real realization about how far away I am from my goals. That even though I'm moving faster than I expected, I'm realizing that my end goals are actually farther away than what I realized. And I am kind of hoping that at the 5 year mark, if I keep on practicing every day like I have, dedicating time, keep on trying to push my limits and not just go and stagnate, that maybe in 5 years' time I'll really be hitting my goals with it. And that is basically to write my own original music. Um, and I'm not even going to be like one of those people, and it's going to change the world. It's going to touch so many souls. It's like, no, probably less people will listen to it than listen to my beer reviews, but that's not the point. In the same way, I've never tried to go and maximize the amount of views or engagement I got for my beer reviews. I mean, I'm pretty sure that leave a comment that says, "Hey, I heard this," if you're actually listening at this point, because according to my metrics, vast majority of you don't watch the entire video. And hey, I'm not angry about that or anything. Um, you're just doing smart time management, as far as I'm concerned. Frick, wasting 30 minutes of your day on a YouTube video? Hell no. Yeah, skip to the parts and find the chunks that you're interested in. And you have my full blessing. But if you see this little part here, just go and put a little comment there that says, yeah, hey, I saw it. Just so I kind of know. But where was I going with this? I can't even recall at this point. But yeah, we're getting on the 30-minute mark, which would be like kind of the maximum here. And you know, as I'm going to wrap it up now, this last 2 minutes, for this sort of year-end reflection, I want to thank all of my viewers, as I usually do for my year-end reflections. Um, I know half of you, like personally, in some respect or other, whether you be in my real life, somehow by family, friend, or you know, work connection, or just um, internet connection, you know, or maybe you're just a random viewer. I don't know, but thank you for tuning in. Um, to hear this weirdo from Hawaii ramble on about things, drunkenly ramble on about things. Um, and tell me, should I go and create like maybe I should create a YouTube poll. Should I create a separate channel just for my music stuff? Or should I just go and conglomerate it all? Because it's like, you know, I think there's about 20 of you out there. And you don't tune in for everything, but um, I know most of you are here for the beer reviews, liquor reviews. But yeah, if it doesn't bother you, my personal feelings, I'd like to go and keep them both together. But if people don't want that one, they don't want their beer reviews interspersed with like me posting music stuff, well, um, let me know. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in, and you have a very great new year. and a lucky new year. And if you have some luck, donate it to me, please. I just want some luck. I just want to win for once in my life. I just want a big solid win. Well, folks, it's all good. Cheers.